morning. I'm so out of it. I slept on the couch last night because I was like, well, probably have to sleep on the couch after surgery because my bed is upstairs. We're not doing that. Gosh, I can't get this angle right. I'm so over this already. But anyway, slept on the couch. Didn't really sleep, but I'm just cranky. But I'm gonna show you how I'm working to get range of motion, just kind of throughout the day. My bone bruise, I'm starting to feel it more for sure. I think just probably because I know what it is. It's kind of still the same area I was feeling like the meniscus issue. But I think also because the swelling has gone down a little bit, the cushion that was kind of providing some cushion and some space was golly. I'm not connected right now, that's crazy. Has gone away. So this sucks, bro. Yeah, that's been pretty painful. So we're good. It's just frustrating. And to think about like the length of time this is gonna take is a lot. But yeah, I see the PT tomorrow. I think I'm doing pretty good. I just think it's time. I think it's a matter of time. So I've been doing a lot of this and just trying to like push, gently push some of the swelling out, and that kind of allows my leg to relax into this straight position. So like when I'm laying on the floor and doing my work, like a lot of times yesterday I would just like sit myself on the couch and with my knee in like a bench stretch position and just kind of zone out, and then I would like tune back in and be like, okay, I need to do something. And then I'd be like, no, this is like literally what I need to be doing, just like sitting. Like it's productive for me to be sitting. So it's kind of like a lot of what I did yesterday. I just kind of let my mind wander. It's not always the most fun thing to have to deal with, but it's essential. And a lot of times we won't do it unless we're forced to sit down. And so I'm really trying to embrace that a little bit, but like I said, it's not always easy, but that's really important because your thoughts are really important in your life and your healing process. And if you can sit with your thoughts and change your perspective and really focus on being positive and getting better and bringing healing energy to your area, to your body, to your specifically your knee injury, it does really help. And you're gonna have moments where you're like frustrated and down, and that's okay. But yeah, a lot of what I did yesterday was literally just sit in certain space, and I keep thinking about like being bored a lot. Sorry, I'm trying to like get in the camera frame here. And how a lot of well-to-do people, successful people in whatever endeavor talk about the importance of being bored. So I'm really just trying to embrace that and allow that to be beneficial for me. But yeah, that was yesterday. It's kind of a long day of nothing, because again, like I really couldn't walk on it, and so I eat mostly chicken nuggets because they're a good source of protein. I get like really good ones that are gluten and dairy free, and they're made with like good chicken. So I'm gonna just get them at Publix or Winn-Dixie has them too. Called Springer Mountain Farms chicken. Love them. But anyway, it's just easy because I can turn on my oven, I can go sit down, or I can wash my dishes or whatever while I wait for the oven to preheat. throw them in, let them sit. They're really good, they're protein. And then maybe throw some fruit while I'm out there. Yeah, because just standing on this like right now is like pretty painful. So I'm trying to avoid that, but it's frustrating because I can't really like cook anything. But I have plenty of food that's already cooked, so just using that. But yeah, still cooking is tough. But anyway, so I just like will sit like this and just let my knee relax. And like a lot of times, like I don't know if you've seen, but like even just like subconsciously, I'll just sit here and like massage my leg or just rub like swelling out of it. So right now what I'm feeling in this position, some tightness in my kneecap, particularly like over the bone bruising and through the MCO. And then I have no tightness but a little bit of swelling right above my patella on the outside. And I don't think there was much wrong with the LCL, but I do think it was kind of bumped up because it was the one that kind of like took the on this way. So, and then my hamstring back here, I feel it pretty stretchy. That's what it feels like when I'm trying to straighten my leg. So if it feels like it's stretching, it kind of feels like a rubber band like pulling tight, then that is a good indication that it needs to relax. Okay. So things like gently stretching. God, I gotta stop doing that because I keep right into this. I keep lifting to like massage and then letting it go, and it just kind of so don't do that. But anyway, yeah, just massaging the areas that are tender very lightly. So in here, I'm gonna keep it like a light pressure, like I'm barely pushing into my skin, and just trying to move some of that swelling around, and then bring a gentle sensation to my knee. This is taking kind of a little while to relax into, so I'm probably not going to move it too fast. Behind the knee there's some tenderness because of the ACL, so just kind of rubbing that out. That one I'm pushing pretty good on it to try to get, because it's not sensitive to the touch necessarily, so I can push a little bit harder. And then we find that hamstring on the outside that my massage therapist was digging into. That's still a little tight in there, but I think that's pretty good. It's more towards the inside. And then even when I was sleeping last night, like the inside of my hip was definitely, had been putting in a lot of work. That's kind of what it felt like. It felt pretty tired and tight, and it's been, there's things that attach right here. There's a muscle that attaches right here and comes down through. And that's definitely been like what's catching a lot of the internal rotation on my knee. So all through there is just kind of like pretty tight, but I'm gonna start working it up. So sometimes, especially like first thing in the morning, or if it's like super sensitive, I'm gonna just like help it up and then maybe massage it through like the range of motion. So I'm gonna support it and then try to use your own muscles to do it, and use your own like leverage. So I just kind of like scooch my foot like this and then stretch like this and push it into a little bit more of a deeper angle, and then I'll relax it down, and so it gets into a wider angle. Pull it in to where basically I achieved the new angle by pulling my toe up to my shin, and then now I have more range of motion. Relax the range of motion, achieve that range of motion, and try to work in a more range of motion. But this is kind of where I'm at right here. The other benefit of working your toe to your shin is it's going to move your muscles, and so it kind of helps tell your body everything's okay, everything's moving okay. And there's a stretching called PNF stretching, And right now the full abbreviation, what it stands for, just is not in my head right now. But it's basically, and I used to do this a lot with my athletes when I would stretch them before games and practices and stuff. You push them into a stretch, let them relax a little bit, and then have them push against you, and then relax. So push kind of as hard as you can, really, and for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then when they relax, you start to achieve a higher range of motion. And so what that does is it's basically like you have sensors in your tendons, which are supposed to prevent things like this from happening, but sometimes when you take too much, they can go into overdrive. So you have them, I can't remember what they're called or like which ones are in which, but Golgi bodies I think is one of them. So you have them in, I'm pretty sure you have them in your muscle tissue, but you also have them in your tendons, so that when you get stretch on a muscle, it either tells it to contract or to relax. And so that's kind of what you're doing, is you're cueing those sensors into allowing you to achieve more range of motion. So your body wants to protect itself, and that's why it's getting super stiff and super sensitive and restricted, is because it says, okay, well, this is the safest stretch I can achieve in this position, so I'm gonna lock it down right here, when in reality we need to get here. So it's just telling your body along the way, okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. But you have to do it like mechanically also. Like you can do that mentally, but you have to do it mechanically as well. So this is about as much as I'm getting right now. I would say, well, it's over 90, so that's pretty good. So again, like you'll see me do this a good bit, so I can't pull it all the way up to my shin right now, so it's putting a lot of like pressure on the front of my knee. But again, I think that's like kind of just swelling. So just pumping it allows me to move my muscles, to stretch certain things in there. I'm supporting with my other hand. I don't know if you see that, but it just like putting that little extra pressure on there kind of, I guess, helps take the pressure off of everything else, because it's acting as a little bit of an ACL. Yeah, okay. The only thing in this position that's really feeling anything is the front of my knee. So my patellar tendon right here is definitely feeling the stretch, which again is probably pretty normal, just because there's still a lot of swelling. When I looked at the MRI, there's a lot of swelling underneath the patella. So there are little pockets in here, and that's probably what's putting pressure on the stretch, or like putting stretch on it a little bit more than normal. So once that goes down, I can imagine that I will achieve a little bit more range of motion, but that's not too bad, I would say. So sometimes I'll just sit on the ground like this. Sometimes I'll sit in my chair, and I guess now that it's bent, I can kind of show you what I do there. So I literally just sit here, and I'll pull my foot in as much as I can, comfortably, and then I'll just kind of slide myself forward on the couch. I don't know if you can really see it. It's pretty small movement here, but I'll sit on the edge and then just kind of slide it forward. Yeah, you can kind of see that, but it's gentle. And then I'll just find a comfortable position, and then I'll just sit on the couch like this. I mean, I'll probably lay back or whatever. This is for example, but yeah, I guess I could show you. I'll just sit like this and stare off into space. Or, I mean, yesterday it was super rainy, so I literally just like looked at the rain. With this ankle, I feel like I'm one of those like Nickelodeon parents or whatever, Cartoon Network parents. You can only see my body. I've been using my toes to move my my leg a lot, which is actually a really good thing, because the more dynamic you can keep your foot, the better base you're gonna have. So one of the Oh gosh. One of the biggest assets you can have is your feet, honestly, because that's what's connecting to the ground. So one of the biggest things I trained when I was doing injury prevention stuff is the feet. So the more connected you are to the feet, the more aware you are of where you hit the ground, which is really important for an athlete, but it's also really important for balance and agility as a regular person. And as you get older, those things are what starts to decline. So it's really important to be connected to your feet and to have strong feet. So the more mobile and strong your feet are by using your toes to move yourself forward, and do things like that, or just intentionally roll out your feet and intentionally pick up your big toe and your little toes. Those are important movements in keeping the rest of the chain healthy. So I would suggest definitely play with your toes. So let's walk it back out. It's when I like pull my hips back so that like when you sit on the ground, you kind of feel like the two bones of your pelvis underneath you. And that's where your hamstrings come over I think pretty much all of your hamstrings are attached along there. So when you go from like sitting like this to pulling the hamstrings into stretch and pulling and like actually sitting on your hips proper, sometimes it pulls things this way, which they're attached to the back of your knee in various places. And so, boink! Oh my gosh, okay. So you gotta be careful how fast you move for sure when things are tight. But it's not dangerous. It's not gonna hurt me anymore. It just doesn't feel good in the moment. So just let it kind of it's like letting is it air out of, I think it would be water out of hydraulic system, but or air compressor system. See? There you go. I don't really have it like all the way flat, but it's pretty, I would say it's straight, but it wouldn't be at my end range of motion because I'm a little bit, I think it's not unhealthy, like, but I definitely have a little bit of, what's it called? Hyperflexibility? Like, look at my elbows. It's not like boom, but it's like a little bit. So, there it goes. Yeah, literally this is what I do most of the day. I've just been really trying to pay attention to my body and what it needs, and like not worry about anything else. If like people aren't showing up to my door, if problems aren't showing up to my door, if like things don't come to my physical reality right now, I'm like trying not to worry about it, honestly. You gotta like plan for the future, like I was talking about yesterday. Yeah, so I just kind of go back and forth a couple times throughout the day doing that, and I think that's gonna help me. When I pull my shin up, it stretched the back of my leg and it moved my knee up, so I'm gonna have to work on that's where squeezing your quad comes in. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so this is also a really important next step, and then I'll wrap this up. But as you start to be able to achieve this range of motion, see if you can start to like slowly squeeze your quad. So that's going to be really important. If you can, and like right now when I'm squeezing it, I'm definitely not getting a whole lot of tension in my quad, but I can feel it kind of pulling on this area, but not in like it's probably not the most comfortable. There's definitely some tension, but it's also not painful. Again, I'm not getting like a little like quad. I don't think you can quite tell, but there's definitely like not a reaction out of this part, but more just like right here. But that's again something really important to start to add into your routine is I've been squeezing my shins. That's kind of something that I've like had access to. So being able to pull my toe up to my shin, and also my calf has had some pretty good reactivity. So pointing your toe and squeezing your calf as much as you can. And then when you can, like there's some hamstrings that you hit better with a straighter leg. And then there's parts of your hamstring that you'll hit better with a curled leg. So kind of like, I would support your knee in this, but think about pushing your heel into the ground and like sit up nice and tall and be really gentle with it, but think about pushing your heel into the ground, and you should feel it all the way up the back of your leg, and you can kind of like twist out and press, twist in if you have access to that. I don't think I do quite yet with my MCL, but I'm going to go as much as I do have access to, and push down, and you should feel that kind of along where you're sitting. And then you can focus on like pulling it in just a little bit. So this is like the easiest access I have right now, probably no more bending than this. And think about taking my heel to my butt without moving it. So I'm going to squeeze and be gentle, because it's going to start to activate things back here. So definitely keep some support and squeeze. Think about pulling your heel into your butt, sit nice and tall, and then relax. So that's going to be kind of how you're activating your hamstring. And then with your quad, again, let me get access to this again. A lot of breathing too, that's really important. And just like every exhale, relaxing. So when you have it right here, just try to push your knee, the back of your knee, into the ground. So that's how you're going to squeeze your quad. You can do it, toes pointed. That's going to be a little bit harder. I kind of feel that on the inside of my leg, so I'm going to stay away from that. But toe to the shin, that feels pretty comfortable. If you want to add to the quad, you can go from here, so it's supported, and then kick up and try to squeeze that quad. So I'm not getting a full range of motion here quite yet, but that's okay. So I may practice that today and see what's up. It feels pretty good. I'm not standing on my bone bruise, so I think that's going to be a good accomplishment for the day. I'm going to stretch. I haven't really stretched or done any foam rolling or anything. I'm not really sure. I'm going to check in with my body and kind of see what needs what, but I think that was a pretty good, mobility session. So good job, hang in there. It's okay to cry. And it's okay to be in pain a little bit, but just make sure you're not spending a majority of your time in that state. So whatever you can do to pull yourself out of the depression that will come, and in waves for sure, but just like constantly be like thinking, okay, but what can come out of this, like I'm gonna be so much more involved with my body. I'm gonna care so much more about my body. I'm like gonna spend this time pouring in good things into my body, because I know I'm gonna start to eat even better, because I really want I really want my body to get better, and I don't want to have to deal with the consequences of being 30 years old and having an ACL repair or reconstruction, and the various other things. Like there's ways for me to be able to come back and not have to deal with being a gimp for the rest of my life, and it may come back to affect me a couple times, but the more focus I can give it now, and the more positivity, and the more I can focus on the good things that are going to come out of this, the better off I'm going to be. And so again, it's like easy to get stuck in like the shit, this sucks, I can't do anything, I can barely walk around my own house, like it's so lame, and it sucks for sure. But again, like, focus on the things that are going to come out of it. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I was doing a lot with my life, and I was doing a lot of things and trying to please a lot of people and do a lot of projects with a lot of people, because I just wanted to get my name out there and have stuff to do. And I realized none of it was giving back to me. And then this happened, but I wasn't going to do anything about it. And then this happened, and I was like, well, there's my answer. I was like, okay, well, like, how can I slow down now? How can I cut back? What can I focus on? Because this is going to be my #1 priority for the next couple months. What are the essential business things that I want to do? And what are projects I want to focus on? And once this is done, what kind of things do I want to move into? And so it's like focusing on those kind of things. And then just trying to get outside when I can. Sometimes it sucks. Like, it's fucking like 90 degrees out there, and I'm leaving my front door open sometimes because I'm just like I just want to be outside, and sometimes it's like that's the best I can do, and that's got to be okay, because like I can't always be up and moving. Like, driving hurts, so like going to the grocery store, I'm like, that, like, no. Well, I'm like trying to find better alternatives, something that makes my life easy, like Instacart. But Instacart freaking sucks. I tried Instacart and I tried Uber Eats delivery, whatever, for groceries. It was not going to be the easiest thing for Ansley. So we crossed those off the list. We're still figuring it out. If it works for you in your area, good. Do that. Make your life easier for yourself, because that's going to help you not wallow in the pity of despair. Because it feels kind of shitty, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's for our growth. And the people that we're going to be on the other side of this, tanks. We're going to be tanks, bro. Okay. I love you guys. Hang in there. We got this. Just stay positive. If you need me, put it in the comments. Okay, if you have any suggestions, if you've been through it and you're like just picking up these videos because you were curious, put stuff in the comments that helped you. Maybe practical things that you figured out the best way to wash your feet. Oh my gosh, the first couple days I'm starting to get some bend in there so that I can wash my feet, but if there's things like that, there's so many things like that you like have to kind of figure out. So if you've already been through it and you have some hacks to make your life easier, put it in the comments. If you're going through it and you're going through it, put it in the comments. We'll send some love to you. And if you found something helpful, put it in the comments. If you have something that you're like, Ansley, these would make your videos better if you stop talking for 45 minutes, put it in the comments and I'll see what I can do, because I want to make these effective for everybody. And also I would like to mention, have grace, because this was not in the plans for me either. I am learning to figure out the camera and all that stuff and how to best communicate all these things. So be gentle, but definitely let me know if there's ways that these can be more informative or more efficient, effective. Yeah, let's go team. Okay, peace.